Welcome to the Nearly Coherent Podcast. I'm Ed, and joining me this evening, a man whose eyes are never more beautiful than when they're filled with rage. It's my buddy Jeff. Jeff, how are you?
Beautiful, apparently. Uh, I don't know if you're seeing the rage or the utter disbelief or a combination thereof. But yeah, man, I'm not great. I am not great. How are you?
Also, decidedly ungreat.
Yeah, I kind of figured that one before I even asked it.
If you haven't figured out, this is going to be a slightly different kind of episode. Probably a little weird. Also, intentionally not funny, as opposed to our other episodes.
Where it's just accidentally not funny.
Yeah. If you've missed it, there's been a lot of protesting, which is in response to all the systemic racism and police brutality, and the list of shitty things goes on and on. And it would be weird if we just went back to making fun of Dave and never brought it up. So that's what this episode's gonna be.
Yeah. Now, this is something that I think it's not just bothers. It affects, I think it affects us, and it really affects everybody very deeply, I think.
Yeah.
Regardless of what side of the coin you fall on with this and whatever emotions it does stir in you, I don't think there's a single person out there that this doesn't stir something in. So much so that, I mean, full disclosure, this is not the first time we've tried to talk about it.
No, we the 2 weeks ago we didn't record because the last thing the world needed was two white guys chatting. And then last week we tried to talk about it, and it was just a lot of screaming "what the fuck" at each other, and the levels were weird. We didn't want to blow out your eardrums. So we're gonna try to do it a little bit less screamy this time, maybe.
Yeah, I think a little maybe less screaming and as far from coherent as we normally are. Try to be a little bit closer where they are, where our points at least make a little bit of sense.
Hopefully, we're gonna do our best, but admittedly, we should. I mean, I don't know if you've picked this up from listening to us ever, but we are both very white.
Very white.
Yeah, so there is a world of experience that we do not have, we will never have, but we are gonna do our best, even though we're might be dipshits.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. It's still, 2 weeks since we even discussed what we were going to discuss. And I have to tell you, I am not any closer to being able to process that this is reality. And it's not just what happened, because you're right. You mentioned we're both extremely white, and I guess I've gained a better understanding of what the term white privilege means and understand, because I have literally never been afraid of getting accidentally, or maybe not so accidentally, but I've never been afraid of being killed by a police officer. It's never even crossed my mind about myself. Now I'm aware of the world around me, and I'm aware of the way that, any of my friends that are of different races, and I'm aware, that's the key word, of how they feel. Do I understand it? No, not even close. I have a friend, John, mentor of mine, and he's made reference to The Talk multiple times. The Talk is something that black families know about, that the father has to have with his son to let him know about dealing with the police and what he's going to be viewed as by society as he gets older and he goes out. And I don't have to have that talk with my son, you know, to not, it's just, And it's so crazy that fathers of black children have to have a talk like this. Is fucking. That's what I say. It's 2 weeks and I can't put the words together.
Yeah, no. I think the most coherent way that I can put it is this. This is all a load of shittiness.
It is. It is. It's a complete loss of faith in a lot of humanity.
Yeah,
I won't say all of humanity because, you know, nothing is ever all. But man, it's a lot. I will say that there are a couple of good things that have come out of there's a couple of good things that have come out of this. And I guess I should be there's a lot of caveats to that. When I say a couple of good things, a couple of good things as far as I think personal knowledge and growth is what
yeah,
I mean. Hopefully, lots of good things come out of this going forward, you know, in society. But personal growth wise, a couple of things have come out of it for me. Uh, a friend of actually a mutual friend, a former coworker of ours, a gentleman named Howard. He posted about the situation, and I was just happened to be reading the post, and I was reading a few of the comments, and so the first comment was from one of his white friends from high school, and they were tight. They're real friends, or they were real friends. Maybe have lost touch, but not just like some acquaintance that wanted to like, you know, hop on, hop on the trend and tell the first black person they see that they love them,
mm,
but an actual person that was trying to convey a nice message, and he said about how back on our team, I want you. I never saw color. I never looked at you like that ever. I looked at you as my friend and my teammate and this and that. And the sentiment was genuine and it was nice. And I got what he was saying until another woman chimed in and said, basically, like, while I get what you're saying, you're missing the point a little bit. Not argumentative, just saying it. And this part is what kind of blew me away. Color blindness, or that famous phrase, I don't see color.
yeah. I don't care if you're white, black, or purple.
Right. Which I listen, I've said it.
Mm?
I've said it. And I genuinely felt that way. Because when I look at somebody, doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me what they are. I was thinking as she was reading this, as she was writing this, because what she said was, it's not to not see color. Color is there. It's something that makes us who we are. And you can't just act like somebody is not black. That doesn't solve the problem. The real solution comes from you acknowledge that somebody is in this case black, and it could go for any race, any creed, any country of national origin, whatever. But you acknowledge it. You acknowledge that yes, black people in America have a different experience than white people. And I actually wrote back to her, and I said, I'm like, I've never thought of it this way. I have 3 kids, and I've always, anytime, the little one doesn't understand anything yet, but with the 2 older ones, they have kids from all different countries and all different races in their class, and you make it a point whenever something comes up, and if it's somebody who wears a burqa. Well, why do they do? And, you explain why, and then I would explain. Doesn't they're no different, and that I realized was the part of the problem. It's that they are different, but different is okay. It's something I've been working on with my kids and explaining to them. My son is a little bit older, and he kind of sees and hears what goes on. So explaining to him, like, yeah, an 11-year-old African American boy is going to have a very different experience over the next few years than you are, buddy. And the key is when you see, when you meet, when you make friends with somebody different from you, is to acknowledge. You have to understand. You have to try to understand, or you have to understand that they are different from you, and treat them you treat them the way you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the big things that I learned, and it almost seems like on the surface a subtle difference, but it's not.
No. But do you feel like a total dipshit when you hear that? Or are you like. Because, I mean, initially I was like, oh shit, I'm a dumbass. But then I kind of got onto the, oh, this is kind of like necessary discomfort. And so now I'm constantly uncomfortable, but also in a good way. And I don't know if that's the best way of expressing it.
I don't know if I necessarily felt like a dipshit. I almost feel like you've been. I don't necessarily feel like if you're not part of the solution that you're part of the problem. I feel like you can make a situation, you can not make a situation better and not make it worse. And I kind of feel like that's what I did. Is that right? No, no, no. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not the ideal.
I don't feel like I was part of the problem. You know, I think my job, and I've been trying to educate my kids, right, to try to try to make things better as the generations go by, which I kind of thought we were, but we're definitely haven't.
Clearly not. No.
So it's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So I look at it like that. It's got to start somewhere. I think now I am better equipped with a better understanding to teach them the difference and to at least make 3 of them in the next generation better people for it. So no, I don't necessarily feel like a dipshit. I feel like I learned. You always, I like learning. Anytime I learn something new, I feel like I learned something new. Had I been, I mean, had I been a racist or done something to somebody because of their race in the past and not realized it, which maybe I listen, maybe I did and I don't even know it. But it's never been like intentional.
Right.
Now that I feel like if I do it again, I'll feel like a dipshit.
Oh, I just feel like a dipshit when I was trying to do like the Spider-Man dipshit. Like, you tried your best and you still, Dr. Octopus still got away. That's my usual. That's my usual feeling.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Speaking of dipshits.
Oh, which ones? Which ones are you referring to?
Take one. You get one guess. I'm speaking of a very specific dipshit.
An individual dipshit or a group of dipshits?
Nope, one dipshit.
Oh, well, then it's Trump.
So what the actual fuck is he? Is there nobody that's like, Don, why don't you give me the phone for the night? Like, there's nobody. The Secret Service, the First Lady, the like anybody in his cabinet, nobody in the room goes, yeah, that. Don't say that. Like, he's got nobody. God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, who would have thought that having a moldy yam that was just fed a nonstop diet of Diet Coke and Sean Hannity's bullshit would be the worst possible person to be leading in a double whammy of pandemic and racism? Who'd have known?
If I worked at Starbucks and wrote what he wrote, I would be the guy that used to work at fucking Starbucks.
He's not good.
I don't
Not helpful.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get him. I also don't get anybody who's still like, yeah, but the judges are all right. I like the tax breaks for the millionaires, and so I'm gonna racism's fine for that. I saw one sign at the protest where it was not all Trump supporters are racists, but racism isn't a deal breaker. And I was like, oh, congratulations, you just gave me my new phrase. Well done, thank you.
And this is the thing. Like, I've seen pictures, when you go back to his history, it seems now the racism could have been there the whole time.
And according to the Nixon administration, it was.
Say again?
He was sued by the Nixon Department of Justice for housing discrimination against black people.
Yeah. I'm sorry. According to, I didn't hear what you said. Okay. Yes. So very, very possibly it's always there. You know, the folks that support Trump will post a picture of him getting an award with Jesse Jackson and Maya Angelou, I think it was. I can't remember exactly. And they're like, look, he's hanging out with black people. He's okay. You know, he hired Omarosa. He's okay. He's not racist. And to me, I look at it like, you know what? Whatever he did before he became president doesn't fucking count.
And it's also, I mean, first of all, we all know the, oh, it's my black friend trope. If you hear somebody say that,
Yeah.
you're a racist. I
Right.
can't be racist. I have.
Yeah, I have a black friend. Right.
No, you are. You are. If that's how you're introducing them, instead of being like, hey, this is Ted. I have a friend named Ted.
Right. And this guy, he's in a lose. I mean, it's a lose-lose. And I get that he's created a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But even if he didn't say anything else going forward, racist, there's so many things that he's said and he's put out there and he's allowed to be said. Two white guys posted a picture reenacting the photo of the police officer kneeling on George Floyd's on the back of his neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know, the guy playing the police officer is giving like a big thumbs up. The guy laying down is giving a thumbs up. And what do you see behind him but a 4-foot Trump 2020 banner? And I'm like, oh, listen, how do you not say so? Like, I would tell these people, I don't need you as my fucking supporter. Take that banner down. Don't do me any favors.
Yeah.
They reenacted a human being getting murdered in broad daylight.
Yeah, they reenacted a snuff film.
And it's like, I don't give a fuck about George Floyd's past. I don't know what his criminal record was or anything like that. But you can't be judge, jury, and executioner in the middle of the fucking street.
No.
He wasn't holding a gun. I don't think that their lives were in danger with 4 of them and 1 of him handcuffed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're celebrating that. To me, Trump, one of the worst things he does is not denounce that.
Yeah.
You can go out, you can misinterpret tweets. He can say he meant one thing and it came out this way and, you know, talk about syntax and all of that, blah, 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 blah. But when you allow the people that support you, that fucking vote you into office to do something like that, how is that not inciting a riot?
I don't know.
How is that not? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, it doesn't help that he's got racist vampire Stephen Miller hanging at his side all the time, whispering sweet Klan rallies in his ear, I'm sure. But, you know, how dumb of a dumb fuck do you need to be to not realize this is bad? This isn't what you want.
It's a no win, Donnie. It's a no fucking win.
Yeah.
Not saying something about it is a no win. I look at it like this. Can I make a comparison for a minute?
Please.
Because here's the opposite argument is that there's no, you know, racism doesn't exist. Slavery was 100 and something years ago and 200 years ago at this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I look at it this way because here's another argument that people have that's very divisive is global warming.
Mm-hmm.
If you put this into a 4 box where you have the top has 2 choices, the side has 2 choices. So the top is whether or not the threat is real. Okay, so you have real on the left, not real on the right. Then coming down the side, you have take action or not. Your top left box is take action and it's real. Your top right box is take action and it's fake. And then the bottom 2 are don't take action, real and fake. So if global warming is real and we take action, we could potentially avoid an extinction level event. and the end of not just humanity, but the end of the planet as we know it. And then if it's fake and we take action, yes, we spend a lot of money on green initiatives, and people may chalk that up as a waste. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily. I think we've wasted a lot more money on a lot stupider things. Then right below that it's fake and you don't take action. Well, then you got really lucky. But you get to the final box, which is it's real and you don't take action. To me, of the 4 boxes, that's the worst one.
Yeah.
You're talking about global warming is real. We do nothing about it. We're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So if I take those 4 boxes, to me, not taking action, you got a 50-50 shot of extinction. Whereas if you take action, you got 50-50 shot of wasting money. I'm taking action.
Yeah.
If you look at it, racism is the same way. What harm can come of us from taking action against racism and it not being real?
Yeah. Which, I mean, you have to really work to think that racism isn't real at this point.
Please understand, I am not arguing that racism's not real. I'm saying in the box that I'm currently discussing.
Yes. Yeah. No.
The one where racism's not real and you take action. What harm is there? What harm is there?
None.
Exactly.
There's no harm. But then again, you have people are just obtuse. People are ignorant. People are just not willing to acknowledge that there could be another point of view. There are people out there who still insist on saying, hang on, before I start screaming again. People who keep on insisting on responding to Black Lives Matter with All Lives Matter, and
God.
not expecting me to just smash them in the face with a broom.
That's another one, man. That goes, it's the same people that put the picture of the white baby saying, do you expect this white baby to apologize for slavery?
Yeah, does the baby have an All Lives Matter tattoo?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and by the way, the rest of that baby meme, the top picture is, if you expect this baby to apologize for slavery, do you expect this baby, and they show a picture of a Japanese baby, do you expect this baby to apologize for Pearl Harbor? And I'm like,
wow, that's extremely different stuff.
By the way, let's go no further than the fact that we dropped 2 fucking atom bombs on that country to pay them back.
Yeah.
I think we settled that score.
Yeah.
We can leave Pearl Harbor alone at this point.
Yeah. Seriously. Good God. Oh. So these All Lives Matter jackasses, these All Lives Matter pieces of shit, I just want to yell at them that if they were a conservationist and they were like, listen, we got to save the green turtle. The green turtle is an endangered species. We need to say that. If you walk up and go, oh, cool, so that means we get to eat sea turtles now, you're just a fucking moron.
Yeah. Missing the point.
Yeah, you are so dumb that it's a wonder that you're capable of breathing.
It's the whole point of the phrase, the hashtag, the protest, the movement, Black Lives Matter. The whole point is, yes, we know that everyone's lives matter, but it seems like Black lives don't.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's very, very, very frustrating.
The cousin of the All Lives Matter is the asshole who says, oh, well, more white people are killed by cops than black people. Can I just throw a little math? I'm bad at math, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyway because somebody who's smarter than me did it.
Okay.
So they got the math right. In the American population, there's 191 million white people and 42 million black people. So that is a difference. There's about 4.55 times as many white people as there are black people, right? Yeah. And in 2019, there was 370 white people killed, by the police. So if you divide 370 by 4.5, that would mean that 82 black people, if it was the same per capita, 82 black people would have been killed by the cops. It was 235 that were killed last year in an incident with the police. So black people are 2.8 something times more likely to die in an interaction with a cop than a white person. So if you want to all lives matter and more white people are killed at me, please put your head further up your ass so that I can't actually hear you speak.
And do the math. Do the math.
Find somebody else to do the math. Because I mean, like, I know I couldn't do the math.
Right.
But I promise you, a person that does math did this math. So, right.
And I don't listen. I have lots of friends that are police officers and their families, and I don't want anything to happen to them.
No, of course not.
But guess what? That I'm allowed to say that because I also don't want them to do anything to somebody else that isn't genuinely protecting themselves or somebody else. You know, since when? It's like you said with the sea turtle.
Yeah.
Like if we've got to save one, you don't need to kill. You don't need to kill the other. It's not that you need to bypass it. It's that one is suffering more. It's just calling out attention.
Yes.
It's just calling out attention. I don't want police to die at all. Not a fucking chance. But I also don't want black people to die.
No, and I also want things that cops have been saying for years shouldn't be on their plate to be taken off their plate.
I do. I agree with that.
Hire social workers to deal with mental health issues. Get better health care going. Like, every time you have to call a cop for something that's not an actual crime, you're just bringing somebody who is in the mindset of, I'm going into a situation that I might die now, so therefore, yeah, they're probably a little bit more on edge needlessly.
Yeah. And I think about it. The big thing people don't understand. To me, this is what the whole all lives matter, blue lives matter. It comes from people not understanding that you can be right without me being wrong. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. A lot of people force it. A lot of people force it into that.
Life isn't a zero-sum game, except in that we're all going to die.
Yeah, basically.
So maybe don't be a dick to each other while you're doing it. You big, dumb turd.
It's funny that you say that because I know you know how much I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's absolutely, to me, he's absolutely brilliant. On the scale of human beings, he's brilliant. On the scale of comedians, I thought before that he was just my favorite. Now, I will never be convinced otherwise that he's not the greatest comedian of all time. He released a piece called 846. It's on YouTube. Netflix is a joke. A bunch of stuff. Believe me, if you haven't seen it yet, it's easy to find. Just Google Dave Chappelle. It's going to be the first video that pops up probably.
It'll also be a link in the commentary for this episode, so we'll save you some time.
There you go. There's another place to find it. Tell Dave that we sent you. Obviously, it's not. You're not going to be roaring with laughter. That's not what it's about.
No.
Yet you do. There are still parts where you laugh when he calls out Candace Owens, which is great. She is. I can't stand her. But anyway, it's not uproariously funny, but man, is it? It's a great 26 or 27 minutes, whatever it is, to listen to. But my favorite thing that I guess just pushed me further over the edge, because I was already over the edge about him being my favorite and being the greatest. But there's a story out there that a comedian, Kenny DeForest, tells about doing stand-up in Brooklyn. And at the time, Chappelle's in town because I think Kevin Hart is hosting Saturday Night Live. They're very close. these other comedians, they're doing their regular set, and he happens to pop in. So they talk to him, and they beg him, like, this is Dave Chappelle, like, can you go on? So yeah, he goes on. End of the night, he goes on. The place obviously goes crazy. And as he's going through, and he starts talking, and he starts talking about the Eric Garner case. It was very recent at that point. And a woman gets up, or a woman, as he happens to be talking, she shouts out, life's hard, sorry about it, during the show. So Dave, I don't know if anybody, you could probably tell what Ed's reaction was, even though you can't see it. But it's like unbelievable to think that somebody would say that in public. Although, is it really, right? I guess
No,
not.
no, it's not. It's entirely believable, as a matter of fact. I'm more shocked that I have the capacity for shock than I am at the actual statement.
After she says that, he goes, "What did you say?" And she repeats it, and he starts to go in. Now, there's few things in life I'd be more afraid of than Chappelle going in on a character assassination of me, because he's, like I said, a genius. But he's not making fun of her. He just starts to talk. He starts to enlighten. He starts to educate. He's talking about racial issues and other stuff like that. And so he tells a story about a friend that lived in South Africa, and talks about the ending of apartheid and how that came about. And his South African friend explained to him that it came about when the people caring hit critical mass. Once you got there, you couldn't be stopped. They couldn't stop the movement, and it destroyed apartheid. So the set's over. There, he's back in the green room. This woman wants to come and apologize. The other comedians tell her, take a hike. So they tell Dave that she'd want, and he said, no, bring her back. They're like, what? And he's like, yeah, bring her back. She comes back with her friend, embarrassed, apologizing profusely. She says, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for what I said, and thank you for educating me. I was ignorant before, but I want you to know I learned from you tonight, and I won't say things like that anymore. Chappelle's answer was, you're okay. That's all we can ask. Know better, do better. I want to thank you for hearing me and listening. That's your role. And now you know. Now you're part of that critical mass we talked about. And next time you hear a friend say some ignorant shit like you said, it's your job to correct them and share with them what you learned tonight. Then you are no longer part of the problem. You're part of the solution. And I'm like, that's it. The amount that I learned just from reading that Twitter thread, it kind of changes your point of view on things.
Yeah.
So, again, like I said, you might have been able to talk to me about other comedians in the past that you think are good and that I should like and this and that. You ain't convincing me that anybody's better than Dave Chappelle. Not ever.
Well, there goes our upcoming episode of me trying to convince you about Carrot Top, but whatever, I was phoning that one in anyway.
Ooh. I guess there's always exceptions to the rule. Listen, here's the deal. I'll listen to you. I'm going to hear you out with an open mind.
Yeah, I don't believe Carrot Top's good, so it's fine.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Fair enough. See, that's what I did. I called you out. I knew you weren't going to prepare that argument. There are a few facts. In life. Carrot Top not being funny is one of them.
Yeah. All right, man. Do you have anything else?
I don't think I can say anything else.
No. Hopefully we didn't just put any of this back. I think we're good. I think we may have helped push towards critical mass than ruining anything. So,
at the risk of being extremely corny, I mean, even if you get one person, this pushed me further towards it. I was just in general about the world, I was just kind of waiting for it to end. I'm more in the case of try to fix it now. I'm more in the camp.
Yeah, as much as we play a character on this, Jeff's general just let the end of the world come thing was actually a Jeff thing. Yeah.
Oh, that absolutely. Mm-hmm. I was waiting for it, but I've decided to try to make the most out of my time between now and then.
Good for you. I'll talk to you next week, man.
I miss you already.